Hey friends, and welcome back to the Legacy Boss podcast. We are super excited that you are here, and we are going to be talking today all about branding. Super excited. Welcome, Marcy.
Thank you.
So we are going to just jump right in and talk about branding. Yeah, so many people have questions like, what is branding? Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? And one thing we're not going to talk about today is logos.
No, we're not.
Logos is not really the start where you want to place your time in when you start branding.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's like the last thing you do.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so, because a lot of times people have no idea what they are moving toward. And so last time we got together, we talked about creating a target audience. We talked about who we're selling to, what we are going to niche down to. And a lot of times people feel like the first thing they create is a logo, and then they get into it and they realize that what they thought they were going to sell is not to that person that they were going to sell it to.
Yeah.
And then they've created a logo that goes nothing at all with their brand because they didn't do it in the right order. So
yeah,
we are going to talk today about doing branding the correct way and doing it in the right order.
Yeah. And really, if you haven't listened to our podcast from our previous podcast, definitely go back and listen to that, because we really talk in depth about how to create that target audience, that how to niche down. And if you do that first, I promise this podcast will elevate you a lot higher
and make more sense.
Yeah, it's like the second step, right?
Yeah, because the branding is only should be done when we figure out who we're selling to and what we're selling. And so we're going to really get into a couple things. So I hope you have a pen and paper ready. And we're just going to give you some little tips and tricks that we've used in our own businesses. And we have a few. Several. So we're going to jump right in and talk about branding personality. Like, what is it that is the thing, right? The secret sauce, like the magic. Everybody wants to know, like, what is it, that thing that's going to be creating my personality? And I find that it takes a couple steps to kind of process through.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And creating a brand personality is really about finding out who you are. And as a creative, especially, you are your brand. I know people get so freaked out when I say that. They're like, what do you mean? I don't want to be the face of my brand.
That sounds scary.
Right? But as a creative, you're the creator.
Exactly.
And so people want to know who you are. And I know that there's so many people that are listening that are like, I am not a people person. I just like to do my thing and create my thing. And I'm not really excited about that. But you can't separate the creator from the creation. And so when you are thinking about brand personality, people want to know the creator.
Yes. And I think especially in this day of social media that really rules everything.
Yeah.
Right. If your target audience, if your niche, if your customers can get a glimpse of who you are, then they get to know you, like you, trust you, and they want to buy from you. So let's say that you sell jewelry and your entire Instagram feed are gorgeous, beautiful photos of your jewelry. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But I tell you, if you put a photo in there of like a behind the scenes of you making that jewelry, or you picking it out, or whatever vibe you want to go with, if they get to see you, that post is going to blow up.
Right.
And then people are like, oh, and so it's good for them to see and connect both.
Yeah.
It's like if you ever go into a brick and mortar store, which are sadly not around as much, right? Because e-commerce is like the king. And then depending on when you're listening to this, it's 2020 or 2021. Rona season is still upon us.
Yeah.
But when you go into one of those stores and you have somebody that owns that cute boutique and they are just adorable and sweet and kind, and you're drawn to their personality, you're going to go back to there because you want that experience with that person again.
Right.
And when you can connect both of those, instead of it just being cold and product based, when you can get that love and that make them feel like they're in that boutique, that's a secret sauce.
Yeah, too. For sure. So in creating your brand personality, we want to make sure that we get several key things taken care of. And one of those things is that we followed up with last time we got together was the target audience. Make sure you know who you're selling to. And if you have not listened to that podcast or watched the video, hit pause, go watch it, come back, because it's super important that you get all of the things in the right order so you're not frustrated.
Yeah.
The frustration that builds when you're like, I can't move forward. Like, let's talk about moving the chains, right? Football,
Yeah.
like, let's move it down
Yeah.
the field. And in order to be able to do that, let's make sure that we have the right things in the right places. So we're going to talk a little bit about creating that brand personality. So what is it that's you? Are you that person that's like bright, vibrant? I mean, are you rocking pink hair? Are you like red and black and yellow and it's just you scream personality wise, like
Yeah.
loud and vibrant? Or are you like that muted, soft pastels? Are you that total white and khaki and tan and muted gray tones? Like, what
Yeah.
is it? Like personality, if someone had to describe you,
Yeah.
what that would be.
Yeah.
And so if you start there and you kind of, because again, your brand is going to be spot on with who you are as an individual and as your product.
Now let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
When you're choosing your colors, why that's so important is because when you can show up authentically on your social medias,
Yeah.
on your website, on your emails, all those things, if you can show up authentically who you are, it's going to be so much easier to do. It's going to be easier to move
Yeah.
those chains, right? If you're like, well, I think it should be black and white, but I'm not a black and white girl, then it's going to be harder to do that. It's going to be harder to fall in love with your brand personality. So yes, your target audience definitely is something you want to look at for those colors. What do they like?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are so opposite of that, it's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. And it's no different than how we put on clothes. Like,
right.
I mean, we don't want to wear stuff that we don't like colors or patterns or styles. It's the same thing with our brand. We want to make sure that it feels good. It feels consistent. It feels like, hey, we're showing up and being authentic.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about some tools that we've used to create on-point branding.
Okay.
So one of the things I know you and I both love is Canva.
Well, hello.
It's a free program.
It's amazing. It's easy. And you
simple.
Can literally create your brand. What do they call it? Your brand something. I don't
brand
know.
kit.
Brand kit. You can create your brand kit. So you can pick out your fonts.
Yeah.
You can pick out your colors, numerous of them. You can pick out those feels. So then when you go on and to create a graphic of some sort, boom, they're all right there. You don't have to go, what was that, number, of the teal that I liked? It's like, boom, it's right here. And here's 3 shades that you prefer the most.
Yeah. So, and then Adobe is another one. So like a lot of people use Adobe Spark. They'll use, if you're super creative and use the Adobe suite, like my husband's a photographer and I've been editing and designing stuff for years. And so I, can jump into Adobe Illustrator and create something just as easily. But Canva is something that houses all of the stuff. If you don't know what you're doing, that is really simple.
It's so simple. The learning curve is like this big.
Yeah.
Like it's really small.
And there's so many templates now where you can just go and say, I want to create an Instagram post, or I want to create a flyer, I want to create this, and to get them to look uniform across the board.
Yeah.
So number one, find a really cool program that's going to help elevate your brand. So where you can go in there and you can look at different fonts and you can be like, that's too scrolly for me. I'm not that script person. Like, or, hey, that is, I am the all caps, bold,
corporate style.
Yeah. Like, and really figure out what it is you like. And there's no amount of time that this should take. Like you just need to work through the process until you find exactly what you're looking for. So let's talk about some other things that we use that help with consistency. So another one I know you've used and I've used before is for email marketing is MailChimp.
Oh gosh. That's another one. I was horrified of email marketing for a long time, I promise. Like I kept putting it off. And even if you're in direct sales, okay, which I am as well, you will hear, don't do email marketing.
Yeah.
Be duplicatable. But the thing is if you really want to grow your business and have it become that legacy, you need email marketing. And it's another free service. You can create templates. So if you go, okay, this is going to be my thank you to the customer who just purchased from me.
Because that's super important.
Yeah, you can put your logo, you can create little graphics, and you can create this template. So then if you go, okay, I love this, and I want to create another email off of that, even if it's like a hey, here's a special, you can literally use the same thing.
Yeah. And then awesome. We just looking recently at MailChimp, they have a new branding kit where you can go in, and if you already have a website, all you have to do is put your website address in, and it'll literally pull all of your stuff directly from your website. Like it'll pull the coloring and the photos and everything. So it's like, hey, we need a landing page. Well, boom. Hey, I need, this type of thing for an email thing. Boom, it's done. So it keeps it consistent.
Yes.
Consistency is key.
We did not plan that. It's just that important. It really is.
And the next thing, so make sure you get in front of a program that is going to help build your business. Email marketing, super important. Y'all, a website. I cannot talk about this enough. I know there's so many things out there. There's so many options. There's Etsy. There's Amazon. There's Amazon Handmade. There's eBay. There's so many platforms, and there's social media platforms. But we need to be really, really clear about what we own as business owners. So if all of a sudden Facebook decided that they are getting too big and the US government shut them down, or they decide, Zuckerberg's like, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to do something else. We own zero of those clients.
Yeah, they're gone.
So
all your followers.
So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, they're gone.
They're gone.
So it is so important that you all figure out the best way to start an email list.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that on another episode, but I just wanted to drop a pin here. Email marketing is so important for your business. So find a free platform like MailChimp, or there's a half a dozen other ones that will help you get started with a free one, and then grow, and then pay as you grow.
And even some websites will have like
they'll have integration. Yeah, for sure. So, but website, guys, get a website, because you want to direct your people to your platform, because an Etsy could be shut down. Some of these things, like you don't want only your sales to come from one particular. And we use other platforms. Like, I know your boxes are housed on Cratejoy.
Yeah.
And we use other platforms as well to help integrate those things. But we want to make sure our business is just not housed on just YouTube. Our business is not just housed on Etsy. We want to make sure those are all great platforms to use, but we also want to be able to direct people back to ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what if one day you decide your passion no longer is making handmade soaps?
Yeah.
What if one day you just decide, like, hey, I think I want to go into something else. I don't know, making knit hats.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to be able to pivot.
Right.
And if everything is only centered around that, or the inability to move, it could be a little tricky.
Yeah. But knowing exactly how to be able to pivot, because the people that use soap use hats. So you want to, incorporate them as well. So it's all learning how to do that. So let's talk about images.
Yes.
Canva is a great place to get free images, but you can pay for their subscription and get hundreds of thousands of pro images, and you can change, manipulate everything. And so when you first start out, most of us are on the struggle bus with images.
Yeah.
Like, we're not photographers.
No.
We don't have the ability to go and get those amazing pictures that you see everywhere. And sometimes it's just a great opportunity or option to have other things. I know we've used Adobe images before in the past, There's other platforms like that as well, but make sure that our images are also reflective and consistent with our branding.
Definitely. So again, what that makes you feel like. So what your brand personality is, how what emotions evoke, you want those photos to represent that.
Yeah.
And another quick thing that I want to make sure, depending if you're brand new starting this, you might have the tendency to go to like Google Images and use one of their photos, and that can be really scary because many of those are copyrighted. Most of them are copyrighted.
Most of them.
And the ones on Canva, are safe to use.
Yeah, for sure.
There's other platforms again out there, or you can, purchase bundles of photos, those kind of things. But I live and die for Canva. Like they're not paying me to say this, but
they probably should be.
They should be. One day they will. I know I should become an affiliate anyway, but that's another story.
Yeah. So, and also make sure your aesthetic of your images are consistent. Mm-hmm. One really easy way to do that is to use filters. We're big fans of filters. And if you can keep your consistency and the lighting consistent, that will also help with your brand. In other words, like not have like one bright, sunny, crazy, warmth picture, and then the rest of your images are all very much of like a blue toned. Like try to keep your brand consistent with the photos that you're using for website, social media, and your email marketing. So
exactly, because even think about some of the people that you love to follow on social media.
Their
feeds are beautiful, and that's okay. Yours will be too, but the reason they are is the consistency, the uniformity. But then also think about when you're just scrolling, you can spot someone's post without looking to see who posted it. When you can do that, then your brand is on point.
Yeah.
Your personality is really come forward.
I know we can think of a couple people right now.
Yeah, it's like I know. Or it just comes across. The fonts are the same. Their colors are always the same. The tones are the same. Even if they just create a graphic that's just one color with typed words on it. It's like I know who that is because of the way it feels.
Yeah.
And so that's what your goal is.
And it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's consistent again across their website, across their email marketing, across their landing pages. When you buy their product, it's consistent there as well. So when you do that and you have that consistency, you're building this brand that is going to be not only recognized, but you're building something that has a standing value. Like it stands, right?
Yeah.
It's not wavering. Like every week we're like, you know what? Red and black are not for me anymore.
Well, that's really how you create a legacy.
For sure.
Is because there it is. Think back to something like Nike.
Yeah.
You can say the word Nike, you know exactly how their commercials are, what the feel is, what the filter is on what that is, what they represent. The energy, the personality is there. And you can see that for everything. Starbucks, think of all those big brands. Those are legacies.
Yeah.
And they're not changing.
Mm-mm.
And you can think of them without thinking of their logo. Their logo could be nowhere on there, and you can watch a commercial or see something and go, oh my gosh, is that this?
And most now they've learned that is so important, where they'll run a whole entire commercial and not put their logo to the very last slide.
Yeah.
And like you already knew who it was.
Yeah, you did.
It's like the old commercials back, during the Super Bowl. And you're like, oh my gosh, like there's always going to be a Budweiser commercial with horses in it.
And the dog.
And you just know, like if you see Clydesdales, it's just happening. It is their commercial. So so when we keep a consistency on brand, and so just as you guys are going through things, make a little mental note of checking off, like, is this consistent? Is this something that I'm doing over and over? Are people going to recognize this? If someone walked by, are they going to be like, oh, I know who that is?
Yeah.
And this isn't just for online, guys. This could be how you show up at farmers markets, or how you show up at pop-up shops, or how you show up in your local town. So it doesn't have to be on a huge scale, because not everybody's vision and business plan is for the global. Okay.
Yeah.
Some are just small town, product based. This is where I want to have it. This is what I want to do. And that is so okay. That is your,
That's your legacy.
Yeah, for sure. So, the last thing we're going to talk about is copy.
Yeah. And this is besides the logo, which is last, I would say this could be one of the hardest things for people.
You know what?
Do you agree?
Yes. Because we're not copywriters.
No. Like, is that even a thing anymore? I mean, it is, right? But back in the day, it was like,
oh, I mean, you didn't write your own stuff.
No, the copywriter wrote it.
Yeah.
You know, and now we have to do it ourselves.
Yeah, and they're amazing copywriters. They are amazing at what they do. And if you have the budget to do it, you absolutely should find somebody in their right niche that is going to be amazing. But if you haven't figured out how to pay for that and you're just still starting out, make sure that your copy is on point with your brand. So, like, make sure it sounds the same as it looks.
Yeah. Make sure it sounds the same as it looks. And I mean, I've been doing this for 6+ years now, and I've never paid for a copywriter. Now, I'm not saying I have the best copy ever. I don't at all. But what I do have is that authentic voice. Like when I write my blog, it's how I'm talking now. Right. Like there's all kinds of awesomes in there. I'm an explanation girl. Yeah. Right. I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, my hands don't stop moving. I can't talk with my hands.
Like if someone tied mine behind my back. Yeah.
It's Italian to me, comes flying out. And when I'm doing my YouTube videos, this is how I talk. When I write my social media, it's very consistent. Yeah. I want people that read it, that know me, to go, oh yeah, Marcy wrote that. Like, I don't want them to be like, what? Yeah. And this is another podcast coming up, but that's my big issue with copy and paste messages. Yeah. Don't do those. That's another video. But because people go, you didn't write this, and it's an immediate turn off. So people are used to how you're writing, and then all of a sudden it totally changes and they go, this isn't authentic. You're losing people.
Yeah. And there's so many people out there that are doing courses and they're doing social media things where you can buy things, or they're doing email templates. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with working smarter, not harder. Yeah. But here is the differentiator. The differentiator is did you take that list of 100 emails and 100 email topics, and did you just copy and paste that whole entire thing and then put your name at the bottom? Or did you take that, use that idea, and then go through it and edit that out and make it sound like you, look like you, feel like you, be authentic? Because that authenticity is what people crave. We're in a world where everything feels so fake, guys, where everything is so like polished and perfect, and the Instagram pictures are like, we're amazing. And the truth is it doesn't show your hair in a bun and the yoga pants and the stain on your shirt from your kid spitting up on it. Like, it is not the real thing. Yeah. And it's so important that we show up and we're real. Now, I'm not saying that you show up looking like that on camera, but I am saying that you convey to your following and to your authentic niche of people that are looking for you, that you are being real. And so when you are purchasing something to assist you, and you are on that struggle bus with having content, you need something and you need help and you need all that stuff, there's nothing wrong with getting that. No, but it's supposed to be a spark of your own genius. Yeah. It's supposed to be genius zone.
Yeah. If it's like, I'm nervous, like when I was like terrified to do email marketing, okay, I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this, which is crazy. Like if I would have just took a moment, took a breath, maybe got quiet, maybe prayed, I probably could have figured it out. Yeah. But I was like, I don't know. I know I need to do this. I don't know what to do. So I got an amazing course that was like, here's great ideas. It was when I was launching my subscription box. Yeah. Here's how to do a giveaway funnel and a campaign, and do this week, this the next day, this,
get you organized.
Yes. And so it gave me that spark to go, okay, now I feel like I'm empowered. I have a tool. Yeah. And here's what I do for 6 weeks out. Here's what I do for 5 weeks out. And so there was
more of a template.
It was a template, but then I didn't use probably hardly any of her verbiage, but I just realized, okay, it was, hey, whatever, you know, and then talk about your product, make sure they have a link, you know. And so I was like, okay, I feel like I have a roadmap to what to do.
Yeah.
But then I put my own verbiage, I put my own fonts, I put my own colors, I put the way I talk in there. And now I don't use anything.
Yeah.
It's like, once I felt like, okay, I can do this, which you can, you have to believe in yourself. But to get those tools to help you is what they're there for,
right.
You know, and they're amazing. And I don't know how many ones I have, but it was like, okay, now I have the, you know, the confidence.
Yeah, super important. And, you know, it's key to get those. So those are supposed to be like the legs up, right?
Yeah.
Those are like, hey, let me help stand on your shoulders. It doesn't mean I'm going to run to the head of the race. It's just let me stand on your shoulders. You're an amazing copywriter and I'm not. I'm going to recognize that and say, hey, help me out. And so those are the things. But you, again, you know, it's kind of like coaching, you know, on my website. It's like, if you're going to show up and you're going to do the hard work and you're going to be authentic and you're gonna put the time in to grow your biz, then that's an amazing coaching opportunity. But if you're just gonna look to me to fix it all for you, package it up and push you on your way, then it's not gonna work because you got to put in the work. You got to, and we've got things like on the site, we've got some hashtags for creatives and some hashtags for boutique owners that, oh my gosh, we spent hours and hours, you know, getting all this stuff together so it's easy for you, so you don't have to search for hours and hours and hours. So it's a quick, like, hey, I stood on someone else's shoulders. They got something for me. They helped me out, but it's not. I'm not doing it for you. Yeah, I'm not going to post those hashtags on your Instagram. Yeah. So we have to use these things as tools, and every single one of these things are going to help set us up for an amazing stairway of branding, so that when we get to the place where we're like, you know what, we're on point. Yeah. We know the fonts we're going to use. We know the colors we're going to use. We know the aesthetics. We're going to have our images. We love black and white images. This is going to be it. We're going to use black and white images. This is going to be kind of our thing. You get to that place where you're like, I'm concrete now and secure. And then once you have that, the freedom of letting that go and moving on to the next thing is absolutely free.
I love that. And it also frees up so much of your time because you're not searching, what image am I going to use? It takes away the vast majority. Yeah. If you're like, this is what my brand personality is in the field and what I want that to evoke. Yeah. And you just go, okay, I still like this style of photo, but that's not on brand point. Yeah. And it frees up your time and your mental space.
And it just makes me feel like when other people see this, it's going to be, they're not also looking going, okay, they're changing things all the time. Everything looks different all the time. So it's very cathartic in that I know exactly what I'm doing and you should know what I'm doing too, because now it's consistent.
Yeah. No, I love that.
And that's huge. Mm-hmm. Like getting real, getting consistent. And so then you can start to build your content creation. We are going to do another podcast focusing on that very topic of content creation. We won't be doing it today, but you will have to listen in for that. We are here each week with you, giving you brand new or updated ideas on how to make your product base or creative business better. Thank you so much for joining us. We have entirely enjoyed this.
Yeah, and too much fun.
I know, we do.
Is that bad?
No, I think
that means we're on point, though. Love what you do, right?
Love it and enjoy it. Thanks so much for being with us. Make sure if you have not subscribed to the channel, that you subscribe YouTube channel, or you subscribe wherever podcasts that you get are, wherever you get your podcasts.
And what about reviews?
We want you to leave a review or comment. She said 5-star. I didn't say that. But be authentic. Leave a review and let us know how you feel about it. And then jump on over to our website, www.legacy- boss.com, where you can get more information. And we will see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys. Bye.